Real talks with triumphs. Turn it up.
Thank you very much. I'm always like, that's me? Like,
You got to be an adult. This is how this happens. This is how this works.
You can learn from anyone.
That was some good cheese.
It was.
Today, we're going to be interviewing Brenda Williams. Brenda Williams is a compassionate, purpose-driven advocate whose superpower is uplifting others. Known for her warmth and ability to make people feel seen, she has spent her life mentoring young women and girls to recognize their worth and believe in their dreams. As a 29-year public media executive and the founder of BW Empowerment LLC, she has championed inclusion, expanded pathways to leadership, and now helps emerging leaders step into their fullest potential with courage, clarity, and confidence. Her new children's book, Worthy and Wonderful, a celebration of girls who matter, inspired by her 4 granddaughters, reminds girls everywhere that they are powerful, loved, and deeply worthy just as they are. Brenda leads with love, lives her purpose out loud, and empowers every space she enters. Welcome, Brenda Williams, to the podcast.
Hey, everyone. Thank you, Tamara.
Yes, good to have you. Good to have you. Wow. So, where are we going to start? There's so much to cover.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here to see all of you and to talk to everyone. So thank you again.
Yeah. So we also have on the podcast, my name is Tamara Foy, my co-host Michelle Smith and Lau Spriggs. And let's get into it. So,
Let's go!
Yes, welcome. Of the energy.
So Brenda, you have this new book, Worthy and Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I spent nearly 3 decades at New York Public Radio, which is WNYC and WQXR, and I retired on February 14th, 2025, and that date was intentional, the love day, right? And that moment wasn't an ending for me. It was an intentional beginning. I knew in my spirit that this was the right time to step fully into my next chapter. So I left New York Public Radio, and I left as their Chief Diversity Officer. I held that position for a few years, and I spent about a decade doing DEI as the VP and the Senior VP. So I was really blessed to have this career that allowed me to walk in my purpose, right? I had this career that I could champion inclusion. I can create pathways, but not only create pathways, I can mentor young emerging leaders and really pour into others' lives. We had an internship program that was robust that I led, and I was really proud of that. You know, when I think about what I did, it was like, how do you show up to the workplace as your authentic self? You know, that's not easy to do. They're still working on it, but at least we made some progress. And I think that's what's really important, is that you're moving forward. My career was amazing. And now I'm in this space where the next chapter, that what I did for so long shaped me. It is who I am, and it made space for what I'm doing now.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
I sure can. So, Worthy and Wonderful. I mean, I could talk about the book, of course, but I want to also say that as I stepped into this new chapter, I saw 2 things going on in my life. BW Empowerment LLC, which is my executive coaching and leadership development, and writing this book, which was inspired by my granddaughters, 4 of them, Kayla, Demi, Dala, and Dior. And, you know, the book was also inspired by my own life, where as a little girl, I would not use my voice. I would play small, you know, and I would need affirmations. So I would say that writing this book took me to a place where that 5-year-old girl who did not know her identity and was struggling with playing small and hearing things that made me feel small. Well, through the years, I was able to build by affirming myself, and I had the opportunity to do that with my granddaughters. And as I was pouring into them, I realized I can pour into so many other little girls. And I've heard women say, I'm not only pouring into little girls, I'm pouring into them as well. So the first book is a series of 5. I'm introducing 4 bright young girls who show up and help and lift each other up and show kindness and love. And through their story, they're encouraging others to speak positive words, right, over themselves and over others. And the book is designed to be interactive. Girls write their own affirmations. So the book is all about empowerment. It's a great story that just takes them down this really beautiful path of look at who you are. God made you this way and you are beautiful. So the book actually allows them to do some activities in the book as well. I'm really proud of it. It gives affirmations. It aims to empower girls and believe in their dreams. And I think far too often, those dreams get dampered by the world. And so I do see the connection between the book and the coaching, right? So what I do with adults, I work with them to connect with their voices, to understand their value. And that work is deeply connected to girls and young boys understanding their worth. So there's a connection between the book and the work that I do with BW Empowerment.
And I gotta say, Brenda, having the pleasure to actually read your book, it conveys all of that. The level of unity that it's already presenting, it does make you want more. I'm like, I'm so glad that she made this into a series because I'm like, I can't wait for the next book, and
Yeah,
the level of involvement. Now, me being a girl mom, I have been very intentional about making sure that they understood their voice, but that they also understood the unity that they actually have with their aspirations and with their goals. And your book, it was just so exciting to read. And so you just know that the level of participation, where you have authors that are making books just to read it and internalize it, you have actually stretched the ability of saying, read it, internalize it. Now let's see what you could write. And we all know by writing it down, by saying it over and over again, those are the things that we actually start to be. So I
absolutely.
truly enjoyed your book because it's about being to becoming, and a lot of time we
Absolutely.
think we got to become something to be it. But your book for me and I have a 13-year-old and I was like, listen, we're going to read this book, because if there was areas where I still needed to connect, because we always need to connect with each other. And even like kind of
Mhm.
reading your book was like, hey, it fosters that connection. And it does, because it made me talk to
Absolutely.
my 8-year-old self, and
Oh,
everything that's been
and
pouring
that.
inside of me from my 8-year-old self, I was able to say, wait a minute, maybe there's an area in her life that she could actually read, actually participate in, and actually speak a whole different narrative to what she may believe at 13. So I just want
Absolutely.
to say thank you so much for writing this book. I am looking forward to seeing each and every book that's going to come. You said 5 books, right?
Yeah, so 4
All
more,
right.
and each girl are going to come off the page. But I'm also looking to write a companion book for boys. I don't want to
I was
leave the
about to
boys
say,
out.
oh,
Thank
she
you.
leaving
Thank
me
you.
out.
Thank you.
You
Oh,
know,
she
Thank you.
leaving me out.
boys,
Yeah. Thank
we,
you.
we do a lot of work empowering girls. But let me say, we got to also empower those young boys because they're
Absolutely.
growing up with these girls. So I want boys to know that they're brave and they are brilliant. And that's,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a story that I want to write as well. So,
And that's
yes.
going to be great because showing them how to be comprehensive in their lives is going to set a whole different
Absolutely.
platform for that togetherness as they're going to be
Absolutely.
interacting with girls, So I am
Absolutely. So for
excited,
me,
Brenda.
Wait.
yeah, thank you.
I think I have a cover for it.
Okay.
Brave, brilliant boys to men.
Ooh,
Ooh, okay. All right, Kyle. I might have to, Lyle. I'm sorry. I might have to. Okay, I like that. I do like Brave and Brilliant. Boys to Men is exciting as well. I like that.
Awesome.
You know, I want to create a movement around this. I think empowerment, affirmations, I think uplifting others, as you said, Michelle, unity is so
Yeah.
important today. We can not only get the girls, but the boys doing that too. What a world we would
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's also what I found what you created too in this book was an ability to be your authentic self with your dreams and goals and not being afraid of actually being able to verbalize that around the people you're around. And that's that unity. That's that unity I think we all are striving for. To be in a community that can say, hey, if this is your goal and dreams, I'm going to challenge you to make that happen. But I'm also going to be there to support you through it. So
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Because what I realized through writing this book, and I did some research too, is identity is shaped, you know, between the ages of 5 and 11, and what we pour into kids now shows up later. So
absolutely.
when you start shrinking and playing small and not thinking you're enough, that came from when you were a little kid. And so we have to diffuse that. And the only way to do that is that's why it's important for me to get this book into parents' hands, right?
Hmm.
Because the parents are the ones that will give it to the kids and they will thrive. That's my goal, is to have them to understand that they are worthy, they are wonderful, and that they matter.
Well, you are
Where
certainly
can
doing
we pick
that.
up your book at? Where can we pick up the book at?
You can pick the book up everywhere books are sold, including my website, brendawilliamsbooks.com. And if you purchase from my website, I can send you a signed copy, as well as Barnes& and Noble, Amazon, Target, books everywhere. Everywhere you can buy books.
And
Awesome.
I
also,
think I
Brenda,
read
you
it.
having
Yeah.
something really exciting coming up on February 28th. Can you let our listeners know about it?
Yes, absolutely. Michelle, you did your homework. Yes. I am doing an event in Chester, New Jersey. It's at a bookstore, a black-owned, woman-owned bookstore. It's called New Wine Skin Bookstore. And I love the fact that it's a black bookstore. One of the things that I am going to be doing intentionally is partnering with black bookstores. I think that across the country, that is my goal. So to start here in New Jersey, where I live, I'm excited about this event. We're just starting to promote it. I'm looking forward to reading the book as well as signing books and really speaking to folks and just pouring into the young people that come to that event on the 28th. So thank you for mentioning
Oh,
that,
not a
Michelle.
problem. I am registered and I look forward to being there in your presence.
Thank
It's
you.
going to be an honor.
I do appreciate
You'll
that.
be reading the book there at the.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be
Okay.
reading the book at the event. My goal is to read the book every chance I get. And I am so fortunate that my 9-year-old granddaughter, Demi, has this beautiful raspy voice. So I'm going to be doing an audio book and she is going to narrate the book. And I'm super excited for her to be the voice, if you will,
Yes.
of the book. Because how special is that from one little girl to another little girl, right?
Beautiful.
So she was here yesterday and I was like, Demi, her father keeps saying, you're going to be a star. I said, it's not about her being a star. It's about her. She's so articulate. She can read so well. She's been reading so well. So she's the perfect person. So I told her, I choose you. And she loved that.
That is amazing. If you could let our listeners know where we could actually register at to actually be part of the reading on February 28th.
Sure. My socials. So at worthy.collective is my Instagram, as well as my website, brendawilliamsbooks.com. On the events page, and there should also be a pop-up where you can go directly to register for the event. So thanks for
Oh,
asking.
no problem. Thank you so much.
Can we talk a little bit about BW empowerment?
You know, BW Empowerment is something that I've been envisioning for quite a while. I do a lot of mentoring, I coach, and so the premise of the business, it has 3 pillars: executive coaching, career road mapping, and executive mentor matchmaking. And it's so exciting when I think about the executive mentor matchmaking because fortunately I have a wide network. I've done so much in the business, so I know a lot of people. And I want to match emerging leaders with seasoned or veteran leaders, if you will. I think that unity, that match right there could be so powerful for an emerging leader. And I get to create that match and then have them go off and meet over 6 to 8 weeks or 6 months if they like. They figure out the cadence for that relationship. So I am the liaison for that. But the executive coaching is me coaching a lot of emerging leaders, but some mid-career, depends on where they are in their career, based on how I coach them. But it is all about guiding them to what they want to get and what they want to accomplish. Coaching is not telling them, it's helping them to realize their own power within. So I'm supporting them with unlocking that potential, building clarity, and also just understanding the impact that they want to leave. And that's the kind of work that I think is lasting. So I'm most proud of doing that work.
Wow, thank you. BW Empowerment.
Yes, I have a website, bwempowerment.com.
Awesome.
And you can register for a 30-minute discovery call at no cost, but I can talk to you about what you're looking for. So please feel free.
So in your journey, if you had to pick a few standout moments from your journey so far, what would they be?
So a couple of things. DEI, after COVID and all, DEI got real big. And so the work that I was doing was really important at the time. And I would say the fact that New York Public Radio decided to have a DEI action plan, a strategy that was organization wide, that was really going to make a difference. I thought me leading that with the other executives was critical. And I'm proud of that work. In addition, we created a program called Accelerating Leaders of Color. And during that time, I came up with this idea that if we're going to be hiring diverse leadership, we have to support them. Because everyone knows that we'll hire them, we put them in a role, we don't support them, and they don't last. And then they say, see, well, that was not going to happen under my watch. We were going to support them with this program, and this program offered them 6 months of coaching with an outside coaching firm that was confidential, and then 6 months of mentorship. So it was a full year program. And so that's the kind of support they need.
Yeah.
I understand totally because I experienced it. They put you in a role and boom, you in that role. You got to figure it out. Fortunately for me, I was in charge of my career from the very beginning. You may have heard me say that I left as Chief Diversity Officer. Well, I was a VP, Senior VP. I started out in community engagement. I was manager, senior manager, director, senior director. I worked my way up. And I did that intentionally, strategically. And so it's up to you. So that's important for me to give to others. It's a gift because I can show them how I did it. In addition, I produced, alongside Brian Lear, of the Brian Lear Show at WNYC, annual MLK event. We produced it for 19 consecutive years. And 13 of those years, it was at the historic Apollo Theater. So I woke up one day and said, we have to leave the Brooklyn Museum. We were running out of space. It was overflowing. And I said, I got to make a partnership with the Apollo. And I did. And that happened. And they just did so it happens on the Sunday before Dr. King's birthday celebration. And they just did the 20th. I wasn't there for it, but I watched it. And it's still going. So I left the legacy. So those are some of the things that I'm very proud of in my career, as well as what I'm doing now, because I still have the tenacity, the energy, the purpose to keep it going.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful. My lady, earlier you had said that you didn't really have a voice. So when did you get that voice, and when did it transpire into such a powerful tool for you?
That's a really good question. I would say one of the things that I aimed for in my career was to get a seat at the table. When you get a seat at the table, you can make decisions, you can make change. And so I hustled for that seat. I wanted the seat because I knew that I can affect others. I knew that I can make real change. So I would say when I became when I started moving up, because I always felt like an imposter, when I was like, when I say an imposter, I think when you're in an organization that is mostly white
Yeah.
and you are the only person of color that has to raise their hand all the time, you sort of feel like small and invisible. So when I started to feel the empowerment, when I started to feel like I could be powerful, was when I became a director and started moving up into senior director and definitely at VP level. I think at the VP level, I really felt, okay, Brenda, you're here. What can you do? So when I got people in my office, I had real talk. No pun intended. I had real talk. This is how it has to go down. I know you might be used to doing this, but just listen to me. Just I want to help you. I don't want to conform. I don't want you to conform, but I want you to be yourself. But hey, if you do this, so I would give them ideas. I would support them. So my voice, then I was like, okay. Once you start to see your real impact, then full steam ahead.
Right.
Then it was like, okay, I did this. So I always knew that voice was there, but it was not amplifying as much as it could until I got that position where I have a seat at the table. Can I bring more people to this table? That was my goal. And that's when I found my voice, my real powerful voice.
Wow. I'm just a little flabbergasted. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm at
I'm just
awe.
taking all this in, and I'm just like,
It is just
I,
such an honor to just be
but
in your presence right now.
I
yes,
appreciate that. I appreciate that. You see, it's passion. It comes from within. I can't make this
You
up.
can.
It really what fuels me every day. And I felt like, I still got it. So I don't
see,
want to let it go. I want to leave this earth knowing I impacted, even if it's just one person, I have to say, and they made a change. And I got four granddaughters and a couple of kids to know that I definitely was instrumental in their life. I'm good. I'm
Mm,
good.
yeah.
Absolutely.
my
And
lady,
even be
I am sure that you have impacted more people, like a thousandfold more than
Absolutely.
that. Okay,
I have. But
definitely
yeah,
by
I
far.
have. I appreciate that. I have. And it's on purpose. I do that on purpose.
A- Without a doubt and out of question. Without a doubt
Thanks.
and out of question. Absolutely. Stellar.
So
Stellar, my lady. Stellar.
Thank you.
I
Thank
have another question for you.
Sure.
So, if someone wants to follow in a similar path that you've taken, what advice would you give them?
My advice would be work on you.
mm,
Mm,
Start with yourself. How are you showing up? What do you want? I think far too often people don't know what they want. And if you
Mm,
don't know what you want, you can get it.
that's right.
Identify what it is that you want. All of this is the inside work. If you work on the inside, it'll show up on the outside. And that's been my journey. I want to be my best, and I know it's cliche, best version of yourself,
yeah.
but that's exactly what you have to do.
mm.
Be your best. And what is your best? Knowing what you want. So when someone say to you, "Hey, what do you want?" I want to own my own business and do that. You have to be able to tell them in less than a minute what you want. So figure out your elevator pitch. Figure out what you want in life. Figure out how to build your confidence. What do you need? What training do you need? I did every training possible. I was coached by everybody possible. I was mentored by everybody possible. Get out there, network. I know networking is hard for people. It was that first handshake for me. And I was like,
Mm,
oh, I could do this. I'm not standing in the corner anymore.
yeah.
When you start shaking hands, when you start looking people in the eye, when you start identifying what you want, the rest will happen.
Mm,
It sounds simple, and it can be, but work on yourself. Figure out what you want and then go out there and get it. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy, but identify what you want. So when I'm coaching people, I hear people say, I want this, I want that. Well, do your resume reflect that? Do your LinkedIn page reflect that? Let's kind of look at everything. Have you had a photo shoot recently? Are you updated? I mean, all of this matters. This is
Yeah.
the world we live in.
I have some young people in my life, right? And not everybody knows exactly what they want, what they want to be or whatever. What tips, parent to parent, would
Yeah.
you give for helping them to get there?
Yeah, I just say stay the course. I don't think they need to know what they want to do because my children did not know what they wanted to do. But what I was empowering them with was confidence to know that whatever they want to do, they can do. You know that thing we say as mothers, you could do anything you put your heart into.
Exactly.
You could do anything you want to do. You keep doing that because what you don't realize, that foundation, it sticks with them. When they get older, they hear their mom's voice, they hear their dad's voice, they hear what we told them. So as a parent to parent, continue to empower them with words of affirmation, with confidence, with, you can do it. You may not know exactly what you want to do. We have some kids that know exactly what they want to do. I want to be a track star. I want to be a doctor. And then they hunch their shoulders. Come on. They hunch their shoulders. But guess what? The ones who's hunching their shoulders, they still have opportunity, possibility, and they can change the world. They can become the president of the United States. Look, if they can do anything they want to do. So as a mother, I would say, remember, you're building a foundation. Once you set in what you want them to understand about themselves, no matter what they want to do in life, they have the power to do it because you told them so. We're their first everything. We're their mentors. If you're a good parent, which I know you are, and all of us here we want better for our kids and our children than we want for ourselves.
Absolutely.
100%,
Yeah.
1,000. Not even 100%, 1,000, absolutely.
So keep pouring into them. I was that kid that knew what I wanted to do, but then that changed. Oh, I was going to be a dancer. I danced for Alvin Ailey, danced theater Harlem. I was on stages all my life. But that changed. My father said, oh, you're not going to Cal Arts. Oh, you're not going 3,000 miles away. And, that was parenting back then. I think parents today, we support the arts. We support creativity. We're different parents than our parents were. And that's what I would say. Let them be who they are to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let them be who they want to be.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that you danced with Alvin Ailey and
Yeah, I was on tour when I was 12 years old. Dancing
Yes.
action. Yeah, I was that little girl in Harlem dancing at the local dance theater. I grew up in the South Bronx. I was busy. I played basketball, ran track. My parents kept us busy. How about that? That was good. They kept us busy so we couldn't get in trouble.
yeah.
I'm
There's
that
there's
type of
something
parent, Brenda, too. I'm keeping you
Yeah.
busy.
Keep them busy.
Yeah, there's something about the arts. So something about that performing arts, dance, it really lays a strong foundation for success in whatever field you go into.
I agree because you know what it does to perform on stage. No matter how fearful you are, you fight through the fear. You get out on stage and you shine, but then when you get off stage, you're like right back to that, like, kind of, I don't want to say shy, but when I tell people I used to be shy, or they're like, no way. But yeah, if I was comfortable, I'm an introvert, but I chose to change that. I
Yeah.
don't want to be comfortable. And I think that's an important thing for people to understand too. You can't live life comfortably if you want something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lady Brenda, I'm gonna have to write that down.
So I
Oh
think he
my
wants you to
goodness.
repeat it again.
Yeah,
You can't live life comfortably if you want something in life. You just can't.
That's right.
You can't. You
Being
got
uncomfortable to get comfortable, to do that cycle all
right.
over again, to move you from level to level and stage to stage. Yeah.
Say, say, and I mean, if you need some evidence, read Marion Williamson,
Oh,
Our Deepest Faith. Hey, it's not that we are powerful. Know that. And that's it. And we are a child of God. And so I read that as a kid 1,000 times.
Mm.
And I have to say, I think that's why I am where I am. I'm not fearful of anything. I
Mm.
might be scared, but I'm not fearful, right? Being scared is one thing. Oh gosh, I don't want to do it. But guess what? I'm going to do it because I know I
Yeah.
have to.
You're gonna do it
And that's
scared.
getting past the fear.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. I was gonna ask you, what are some roadblocks, some challenges, or people told you you can't do something.
That's it. You're limited. You think you are limited by what people tell you. And I think that's the roadblock. The roadblock is getting out of your head what
Mm.
others say about you, and you tell yourself what you say about yourself. Because what does God say about me?
okay.
God,
Mm.
I am made in His, likeness.
Absolutely.
Fun. So, and I struggled with that. Of course I did. We listen to what people say. Every time I do something, I go back and critique it. I'm overthinking it. Yeah, but get better at knowing that you know this is what you do.
Mm.
Now, when I get in front of people, I know what I know, and I'm not going to let anybody take that from me. Before, limiting beliefs would kick in. Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't get up on that stage. I can't teach this. I can't do that. I can't. No, that can't word doesn't exist.
Right.
It doesn't exist. And I think yeah. So it takes a lot. It's not easy,
Yeah.
but reinforcement. Don't listen to what others say about you. Listen to what you say about yourself. Now, I'm not that because I know some people who are, I love their energy and their boldness and they go for it. I'm not that girl all the time, but I'm confident in who I am. And what I love is people get it. People get who I am.
Mm.
So now I realize I don't need to redefine that. Do I need to make some changes and transform in other ways? Absolutely. Because if you're growing, you're growing, and my growth takes me to another level, Michelle,
Mm.
as you mentioned. But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And it just, you are conveying that in this conversation we're having today. You have learned, you have grown, and what you are contributing is an amazing legacy.
thank you. I do appreciate that. And I think gratitude, let's just say that. That's the
Yes.
grounding foundation for me. It is something that I worked hard with my older granddaughter. You got to be grateful. Gratefulness and gratitude will take you so far. And my lessons with her finally got through, and now she is thriving. And I'm like, I told
Um,
you. Now she'll say, she calls me Mimi. She's like, Mimi, I am so grateful. I said, what did you just say? So it's important. Gratitude is very
but
important.
because being grateful, it changes your whole attitude and your perspective and your mindset. So you really don't have time to
Absolutely.
focus on those things that can distract you. When you're grateful, you can be like, okay, well, I'm grateful for this, and I can build on my gratitude. So
Absolutely.
awesome,
And
awesome,
that's why,
awesome. That is
yeah,
amazing.
thank you. And that's why journaling is important, right? It's a practice I picked up as a young girl. It's a practice that I tell my granddaughters about. It's a practice that I tell all the interns and the people that I mentor. Grab a journal. Make it a practice. When you write down things, it seeps in a little deeper. It's not the same when you're thumbing it with your with your phone. I say when you write it down, it's etched.
Mm, absolutely.
So
It's
there's
getting it out your head and putting it in a place. This way you can visualize it and say, hey, does it serve me well or doesn't serve me well?
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a time when, and I still sometimes speak into my phone, right? When that thought comes, or when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my God, where's the phone? And you just get it out. The key is to get it out.
Now, I got to ask you, Brenda, as you are mentoring, and for those that are overthinkers that need to kind of that strives to operate that level of perfection, do you also recommend journaling to them?
I do. I think everyone don't journal. Everyone don't want to journal. So it is a suggestion. I think if you want to journal, you journal. I think there's another way of getting things out, and that is, as I indicated, talk to your phone if that's easier for you. Find a way, or typing it. Find a way, or meditate, or pray. There's ways. Journaling is not the only way. I meditate. I talk to God. I openly say what I want. I think you got to be specific. So there's these practices that you need to create in your own life to support your wellness and your health and your well-being.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that.
Oh, Lady Brenda,
She calls me Lady Brenda. I love that.
Oh,
I'm
I
I'm
love
I'm
that.
just, taken and just like in awe,
Wow.
truly, because your journey through through your life and where it has led you into such a position of, you know, putting forth and breathing into others, you know, but not just breathing anything, but breathing roots. So to you, my lady, I say blessings and stellar job, and just keep doing what you're doing.
yes.
I that Lionel.
But
Thank you.
I do have a question for you, my lady.
Sure.
What does the word purpose mean to you? Because you are a woman of purpose. So what does
Yeah.
the word purpose mean to you?
Gosh, it means everything to me. I think purpose means why I'm here. Purpose is why I exist. Purpose means what am I doing? What did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? I'm on purpose every day, even if I'm getting rest. I finally realized self care is purpose. Taking care of Brenda is purpose. Lay
Right.
down, girl. Your rest, because you got a lot to do, and you can't do it by depleting yourself. So, purpose for me is like fuel. It's like putting gas in your car. It
Wow.
gets me going. It drives me to the next stop.
Yeah.
If I'm pouring into you, I'm pouring into somebody else tomorrow, or I'm doing this work, or I'm doing that. Purpose is why I am on earth. It is the rent I pay. I mean, quite frankly, God put me here for a reason. He brought me through my mother and gave me the father that I have for a reason. So my purpose, it makes my I see you, Lyle, and it makes my stomach just churn when I talk about it because it is so important. I think passion is important, but let me say this. I think purpose is more important.
Yes.
If you
Absolutely.
know that passion will come. It will thrive through it. But that purpose, it's what drives me every day of my life.
Yes.
My lady, I must say, I have never heard purpose put to such a purposeful way.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from. It just came from
Woo!
within. I don't know where it came from, to be honest with you.
No, because many times in life, we've all have asked, "What is my purpose?"
Yeah.
But for you to personify it in such a manner and so powerful,
Thank you.
it's just like I get what purpose is now. Now I do know. I know my purpose. I know my way. I know what I need to do. I know where I need to go, where I'm at, and where I need to get to.
Absolutely.
I'm not stuck anymore. I know
Oh
my
my
purpose now.
Woo, woo,
Lady
woo,
Brenda.
woo,
Yes.
woo, woo. Thank you. I think, yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Because yeah, I'm just so blessed to have lived this long. Because I have to tell you, people will say, oh my God, I don't want to get old. Getting older, oh my gosh. If you can do it with grace and purpose, Come on. It's the best life. I love where I am today. Yeah, I had my 20s. They were struggling. My 30s, where I was starting to figure it out. 40s, I was like, oh, this is what life is? I love this. 50s, oh, no, no, no. Everybody, no.
Yeah.
60s, you're like, oh my goodness. This is what life is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And it's about giving back. It's about helping others. I used to laugh at my dad because he's like, oh, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. No, 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 no. We got to help people. We do. People need help,
Yeah, you do.
right?
Yeah.
People need help. And if you have the wherewithal to help them, help them.
Do so.
What will it take from you to help somebody? So I help everyone.
Yes.
You do, my lady. Yes, because you just helped me today. Okay.
Yeah, very
Purpose.
powerful words.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank
Can
you.
do. Yes. Will do. Must do.
Yes, I love
By
that.
all
Yes.
means, and it was through you, my lady.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lyle. I love that. Thank you.
We
You're
would
so
like
welcome.
if you could leave a question for our next guest.
Yeah. So, what belief about yourself did you have to unlearn in order to become who you are today?
Amazing
I
question.
posed that question. Yeah, so let me repeat that. What belief about yourself did you have to unlearn in order to become who you are today? And I posed that question because I had to answer that question for myself. You know, and when you start to face yourself in the mirror, that's the toughest thing. That's the hard part, to be honest with yourself. And so that question comes from a deep place of this could really help you propel you into that next stage. So that's where that question came from for me.
Thank you. Thank you. So, if anybody wants to reach out and work with Brenda, you can go to www.bwempowerment.com. You could also follow her at brenda.empowers. That's at brenda.empowers. If you want to pick up her book, it's sold everywhere that books are sold. You can also pick it up from her website at brendawilliamsbooks.com. That's Worthy and Wonderful. Or at worthy.collective to follow her social medias, and we'll also leave them in the show notes as well. Brenda, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for enlightening us.
Yes, it's been an
Thank
honor.
you. You guys are amazing. I love your spirit. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Real talk matters. Real triumphs they happen. And so thank you. I enjoyed my time with you guys. Thank you so much, Tamara, for inviting me into this circle.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
To your shine.